Hello guys, welcome to another video. I know it's been ages. I haven't been particularly well, so I haven't done a lot with the old Morris Minor, but things are starting to move on a bit now. I have got all of the paint for it, all of the primer and the paint, so I'm sort of trying to get it ready for paint. I've got a new set of tyres for it, and quite a few other bits and bobs are sort of going on at the moment. Purpose of this video, and I did put out a little Instagram post, excuse me, is to try and sort out the ride height on the car. As you probably remember, the car, there's not very much that's original about this car, apart from the shape. I think everything has been changed at some point or another. I think the vehicle has the wrong springs fitted to it, because basically when I first got it, it was wearing 2-inch lowering blocks on the springs and the car was sitting way too high. So I had this idea of taking the springs apart, turning one of the leaves over so it has the effect of straightening out the rear leaf springs to lower the whole car. And there is a previous video on that if you wanted to have a look at that, and it worked quite well. But the problem that I've got at the moment is because the car has also had the telescopic rear shock absorber modification done previously. I don't know why, but one of the rear shock absorbers just bottoms out when you hit bumps. I did drive the car up the road probably a month or so ago, and got a couple of speed bumps outside, and when you go over the speed bumps there's this terrible bang from the driver's side where the shock absorber is actually, you know, sort of completely bottoming out. It's rebounding and just completely bottoming out. So I took some measurements. A mate of mine was helping me. We changed a few things around to see whether we could make the lower shock absorber mount a little bit lower on the car, so it gave it a little bit more clearance. We tried a few things, tried a few ideas, but the long and short of it is, it looks like the car needs to come up a little bit. So at the moment I'm looking at probably raising it 1 inch. I think that'll be enough, but I'm making provisions to raise it either 1 or 2 inches. So hopefully that will resolve the issue. The way that I'm doing that is that I'm making some new rear swinging shackles for the leaf spring. So you have a fixed point at the front of the leaf spring. At the back of the leaf spring is like what they call a swinging shackle, and obviously as the vehicle goes over bumps, it allows, as the spring compresses and effectively becomes longer, it allows the movement in that rear swinging shackle to take up the difference in the length of the spring as it sort of compresses and rebounds. So I'm still a little bit out of breath, sorry, I do struggle a little bit. I'm still not 100% well, but we're getting there. So basically I took the shackles off of the car, measured them, drew a template, measured not only the width of the shackle but also the thickness of the shackle, because I needed to get some steel to make some new ones. I think the thickness of the shackle plates on the car was somewhere around 3.5 millimeters, and just a little bit short of 40 millimeters wide. Went to the local hardware stores, but I couldn't get anything like what I wanted. So I bought some steel online. I bought a bar, 1 meter in length, which is 40 millimeters wide, 4 millimeters thick, and basically I've cut this into sections, obviously longer than the swinging shackle on the vehicle, so that it allows me to make a mounting point 1 inch lower on here and then 2 inches lower, so that what it will do is have the effect of raising the car. I will go under the car in a moment and show you the standard shackles and give you some idea of what we're making to try and achieve a little bit more ride height on the rear of the car. So this is the rear shackle. There are 2 plates, one either side of the chassis leg, so we've got one here. I've taken the nut and washer off of here so that I could measure up the size of the hole that I needed to drill in the new plates. So this is a swinging shackle So you can see there's the leaf spring, there's the shock absorber that bottoms out on the top mount when you go over bumps. So as you can see, when the vehicle goes over bumps, this spring is fixed at the fixed shackle, which is right up the end there. I don't know whether you can quite see it. Yeah, there's a fixed mount at one end and a swinging mount at the other. So this mount, the swinging shackle, will allow for movement back and forth as it needs, obviously when the spring compresses and rebounds. So this is what we're looking to make some new ones of. So I've taken this off, made a template of it, and what we want to do is actually make the hole 1 inch lower and then another hole an extra inch lower. So effectively we'll be raising the body up from the spring by either 1 or 2 inches. So that's the swinging shackle. I will whip this off in a moment and show you what I've made. So this is the first one that I've made. As you can see, this is the original. I made a little template there and then took some measurements and made 2 further holes. We're not going to use the standard height because we know that that's wrong. So we've got another hole which is 1 inch lower than this one, and another hole which is 2 inches lower than this one. So that will give the effect of raising up the vehicle either by 1 or 2 inches. So I've made one plate, I've almost finished the other. I've got 4 to do, 1 either side of the spring on both sides. And as soon as they're done, I'll get them on and we'll get them fitted. And there we have it. There is the new shackles fitted. As you can see, it's raised the vehicle by 1 inch from the standard. That's about where the mounting hole would have been. So the vehicle is 1 inch taller now, sitting on the springs. Quite pleased with that. I've had a little bounce around, and early indications are that it's stopped the shock absorber from bottoming out. So really pleased with that. That looks like that's fixed that little issue. Just got the other side to do now. But yeah, that's my new swinging shackle plates, replacing the original ones and lifting the car 1 inch with the option of 2 inches. If it's not quite enough, I can lift the vehicle another inch if I need to, but I think that's resolved it. So obviously proof of the pudding will be in the eating when I can get back out and have a little cheeky drive up the road. I do so. But I've got all sorts of bits and pieces off at the moment. I've got the bonnet off the car. I've got a little fuel leak to sort out as well. Loads of stuff ongoing. Just in the process also of cleaning up all my wheels so I can repaint them before the new tyres go on. So yeah, loads to do. But this is another little job crossed off the list, thank goodness. I don't know whether you recall the photos before when it was at its normal ride height with these incorrect springs. You can see the lowering blocks in there actually. Here's the 2 inch lowering blocks. So with the springs as they were with the 2 inch lowering blocks fitted, the car was way too high, so they're quite clearly the wrong springs for the car. Yeah, so I'll see if I can find some photos of how it was sitting, and if I get the opportunity later today, I'll take a photo of how it sits now. But thanks for watching. See you again in the next one, and hopefully it won't be too long. All the best. Bye now.